How's it going, everyone? And welcome to Alan Wake again. Yeah, I'm gonna probably just hop straight back into it. It's been like a week or so since I played this, so I don't really remember what was happening. But luckily, this game comes with a handy checkup. I'm pretty sure we were chasing the kidnapper. Steam Cloud Alan Wake. I'm gonna
Previously on Alan Wake,
press that and hope it's the right
Alice
one.
has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
I can't tell anyone except my agent Barry.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head.
The ransom is a manuscript I supposedly wrote that's coming true before my eyes.
It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark.
I have found only a few scattered pages.
I want the
Deadline.
entire manuscript.
The deadline is in 2 days.
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Good.
Oh yeah, we had to go and see Rose, but not Rose, but the
How
weird.
the hell did she get her hands on the manuscript anyway?
I don't know. She's resourceful. I told you were too hard on her. Listen, I
love how
found
much
out
better
all
Wake's
sorts of
model is
interesting
than
stuff
his,
while I was
like-
digging around.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Mr. Wake, it's Sheriff Breaker. We have an FBI agent here, Agent Nightingale.
FBI.
He's
That was the guy.
anxious to see you. You'd better come to the station.
Okay, I'll be right over, Sheriff. Let's make this quick, huh?
It's the middle of the day.
Help you
Nothing bad
folks?
can happen.
Name's Randolph. I'm the manager.
We're looking for Rose. Works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose, sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
As I was saying, Al,
Only important
I found
thing.
all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come
I'm gonna
true.
guess it's gonna say
and,
Cauldron
get this,
Lake.
Most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Yeah, what do you know?
Well,
Ooh,
you
that
ain't wrong,
sting.
mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
God
okay.
fearing, because God
Anyway,
doesn't,
There was an
have the
island
notion
there
of
owned
hell.
by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Yeah, how about that? It was there in the morning, as if it had fallen from the sky. But it would take a tornado to lift something like that. We're damn lucky it didn't crush any of the trailers.
Not gonna question why it's actually there then. Right? You're just gonna... I like it. I like that as a thing, because it's like, it shows that Alan isn't, like, making stuff up. Rabbit food.
Come on, mister. I'll take you to Rose's trailer.
Hot dog, chili dog, corn dog, taco dog, trailer trash dog. What's that noise? Someone
Just follow me.
chopping.
It's not far.
Guess it's someone chopping trees, right? It makes sense. We're in a lumbering area. Heading to keep finding lumberjack.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Ooh.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook story. The Scratching Hag comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around,
I recognize
and
that
she's
noise.
that
Yeah.
crazy bag lady you met.
What,
Oh.
the lamp lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless or anything.
Yeah, anyway, she
Yeah,
knew
heaven
both
forbid she
Jagger
was
and Zane
homeless.
before they both died, and she had some kind of a breakdown.
Interesting. The way he's like, yeah, I'll show you the way. He could have just pointed me to her trailer. He didn't need to escort me the entire way. I also like this trailer park has like a kids play area and stuff, but
Well,
like
mister,
it's like
this here's
5
Rose's
trailers, right?
You mind me asking what you want with her?
We're just here to talk to her, pal.
Yeah, nothing untowards.
Welcome to... Oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh. Oh yes. Yes. Please, come in.
He's just gone.
Hey, this is really good.
Why did he say, oh dear, Mr. Wake?
Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry. She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Al, what's... Oh...
Barry!
Whack.
What? What?
Dun dun dun.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
Is Barbara the name?
Promised I'd come visit
Oh,
you
yeah.
and your lovely wife.
Is that
You
Barbara?
must finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
Turn the light on. Oh god, Alan, you're on the TV again.
Back to work, boy.
See, she says you have to finish what you
I
started.
felt nauseous,
but-
hungover. Only anger kept me going.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being
She owns a
heavily
lot of
revised.
books.
The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way.
Oh,
she
I
knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Farewell to Sanity by Jason Wade. She likes horror, but and then yeah, she's got all of Alan's books down there. And then she's got this weird shrine to Alan Wake. Why does Alan not have like a thing he can say about that? Also, the fact that her room looks like a kid's room is weird.
Rose took a day from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
How does he know it's been a day? Does he mean like a day?
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter there.
Aww.
Would you like to hear today's
Just
specials?
another copy of his book
Thank
on
you.
there.
A nice day. Come back soon.
Barry was out of it. He was way too heavy to carry.
It's a bit harsh to Barry. But
right.
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Randolph calls the
Mr.
police.
Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
Good old dude, I guess. I mean, you know, really it's up to her what she does. When he said we look like trouble, I guess that's true. I guess Alan, you know, probably didn't look too in his element. I like how it starts these episodes, like, don't give you a gun. Oh, not another radio.
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep at all. It's all tangled bed sheets and dark thoughts, punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller, you're on KBF FM.
KBF FM.
Pat, it's Walt Snyder. What's on your mind, Walt?
Who's Walt?
Well, I ain't the way you are, but, well, I can't sleep either, you know? I just been staring out the window here, trying to make sense of it all, but, I ain't been drinking either, you know? I just... Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
Danny. Oh, it's the dude that was in the prison. I think.
I heard something like that, Walt. Yeah. Well, you know, Daddy's my best friend, and, they let me out on bail today. And now I'm just alone here at the window, you know, waiting. Man, and there's something in the air tonight, man. I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt? I don't know. You know, something's gonna happen. You know, I think I better go. Well, Walt, maybe... No, thanks, Pat. Well, good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh? How can I be sure?
That's such a weird, like, audio log to find. Oh, actually, let me go this way. No, there's a big rock. That's... I don't want to say a lazy way to do that. But to just put a random big rock in the way is pretty odd. I don't see. So this is one of the good things about not remembering that much about this game. I don't remember what she gains from having done that. Dog. I heard a dog. Yeah, I don't remember what she gets from like
you're gonna get it now.
Waited 12 hours.
God knows what you've done to that poor girl. This is Agent Nightingale, FBI. Get him up, Hemingway.
I love that he calls him Hemingway. I'd forgotten that was the thing.
Right in your goddamn face. Stay right where you are,
American cops. Fire.
What? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac.
And that was the bit I remembered
I
was
hated to leave Barry behind,
from the
but
last
there was no
episode
way
was
I'd miss my
he
appointment with the
mentions
kidnapper.
I remembered it saying like that guy. Yeah, I remember the whole like he shot him or shot at him thing. Escape the police. What happens if you let them catch you? Surely they could see him. This is what I was saying the other day or the other episode was.
There he is! There he goes!
I'm sure it's supposed to be darker than it is.
Okay, Ben. Keep your eyes peeled. He's gonna try to make it through here.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, damn.
How does no one like catch up to him here? He's like a writer. It's not an athlete. I know like catching someone running through the woods would be difficult, but not that difficult, right? He's like running down a path. Also, this like these should be FBI. One of these guys is an FBI agent, right?
He's gone. Come on, guys. We need to head him off.
I guess once you get this far in,
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
the rock stars stirred it. Maybe it means those two old men. Oh, the darkness is here. Oh, is there a dead cop?
Sheriff Breaker, over.
Nightingale, over.
What on earth is going on? My deputy's telling me fire
Saw this from over there, look at that.
Rose didn't know how the strange old lady got in her trailer, and she looked wrong somehow. The woman showed her teeth in an approximation of a smile and traced a finger down Rose's cheek. Pretty
That's
girl,
creepy
she
as
said.
hell.
Rose felt as if
That's
she was
so
falling asleep,
creepy.
but her knees didn't buckle. The crone spoke in a whisper, her words ice cold and dark in Rose's ear.
How can words be dark? Not, I mean, it's a meta. Obviously, it's a game about writing. It's doesn't need to make sense.
You stay right where you are, Agent Nightingale. I'm on my way.
Oh, she said out. That's kind of a neat way to thingy. She says out instead of over. I don't know if that's a thing. I've not really spoken over radio. Well, actually, that's a lie. I did that over the weekend. Oh, police.
Search the area.
Oh, they're gonna get darkness.
Stay sharp.
Yeah, the darkness is gonna get him.
Over here.
This is a good way to build threat of the monster. Like, it just kills like 6 people, right? There was like 6 flashlights down there. It just killed like 6 people.
This horror was everywhere I went, circling me.
It's Wake's
The
doing.
cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer,
Not
not
a
a monster.
He wears a tweed jacket.
He's the guy we're chasing. If it's not him, who then? Bigfoot? Over.
I don't know yet, but I'm not in the habit of jumping to conclusions. That tends to come back and bite you in the ass. Out.
I like the sheriff compared to Nightingale. Nightingale's a bit of a dick. Thing is, I don't get if Nightingale's been sent here with the express purpose of investigating the darkness, or if he's actually here to investigate Wake. Because if he's here to investigate Wake, then fair enough. But if he's here to investigate the darkness, then like, yeah, if he's here to investigate the darkness, then like, what the fuck?
Hold it right there.
He's like an LMG. Other than shooting. Birds! The birds are gonna get the helicopter. Imagine if you're in a helicopter and 3 massive groups of birds just flew at you. That's a pretty big explosion. I'm no expert on explosions really, but like I don't think an explosion from that would be that big. I don't disagree that it might be a substantial explosion, but that was huge. The explosion was so big that like the flash like didn't blind Wake, but it cut off part of his vision. I'm gonna go up here. It obviously wants me to go that way, but can I look through the viewfinder? I can. Can look at all sorts of, well, nothing. Cool. Actually, no. The fact that these are rendered, so I can say, oh, look, there's a thing up there. Is actually kind of neat. There's the gas station. There's the burning wreck. Anyway, that's that done. I sort of thought there'd be a gun up here.
This is James. Mulligan, Thornton, come in. Over.
Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. Why, they were... Hey, Mulligan, what are you... Come on!
Sit down and give me that.
Between you got both of them in custody.
Mulligan here. Over. Go ahead, Mulligan. Over. We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk or hopped up on something. Speaking of which, that Fed had a pretty distinctive whiff of Otis Scotch about him, you know what I mean. Over. I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over. Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just being plain weird here. You better get Doc in to take a look at both.
I could see the lights of the radio station in the distance.
You better get them here quickly.
Is it talking about that one, or is it?
Interview Wheeler. Over. Oh yeah, I bet. Looks like they have a lot in common. Mulligan out.
Does it mean at the radio station or at the radio tower? That says radio station on the top of it, so it probably means that. Although Wake thinks the best place to go is the radio station, I'm not 100% certain.
I imagine that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station.
Okay.
Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Except the fact he thinks the police are, he probably knows the police are looking for you. Oh no, there's no way through.
Unnatural shadows clung to the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a light.
I don't get why it's trying to stop it.
There was no power to the searchlight.
True, Wake, true. But there will be a way to turn it on somewhere. There it is. Look at the sparks coming off that. That's so dangerous. So why is there just this random... Oh, I see, this like the pallet was brought in on.
The old generator conked out. I'd have to see if I could fix it and try again.
Huh. Oh, just gotta kick it. Bang, back to place. 2, 3. I see, so it's a timed thing. I faffed about too much. Oh, that must be what the sparks are for. They're like a timer. Okay, let's boost the searchlight. And then the light happened to blow. I guess you could say that it's probably the darkness doing that, right? The fact that it destroys the gate is also weird. Right, like the darkness can destroy inanimate objects. I get when it like destroys bodies that it's taking control of, but when it just destroys like random inanimate objects, feels a bit weird. Oh yeah, we got a flashlight again. Feels a lot safer. touching it damages you. I don't even need to test it. I'm almost certain that's what happens.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashbang grenades.
Yeah!
They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Yeah! So this was the thing in previous episodes. I said I remembered what the last thing was, but I was going to leave it as like a cool thing for people that didn't. It's this. It's you get flashbangs as your other weapon instead of flares. I don't think there's even a way to switch between the flashbangs and the flares. Oh, there is, if you have both of them. It's so sick having a flashbang. Like, it feels so cool. Like, oh no, I can't do anything. Please don't get too close, enemies. Boom! They're so good. As Alan points out, like, yeah, in a situation where you're against something that's weak against the light, having a flashbang is insanely powerful.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine. It's Milt Peabody, Pat. What's on your mind, Milt? Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Big ruckus is one way of putting it.
Just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know? I don't know, but there's a bunch
Oh, look at it slide. Oh, that's weird.
of sirens, helicopter buzzing around, and I
think I heard some gunshots.
Gunshots? Yes, sir, like from a pistol. So can you find out what's going on? Because it's just next door, and they're popping off guns there.
Popping off
still shooting?
guns is...
No, it was maybe 10-15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party. I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt. Okay. You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them. Okay, thanks.
Oh, yeah, I do really wish that... Oh, no. That it had, like, continued on. Get flashbanged. Wait, is there still another one of them? Rose touched by the dark presence.
Touched by the dark presence, Rose was lost in a dreamland where everything was drawn in black and gray crayons. The old lady had promised her that all her wishes would come true. She would be Alan Wake's muse. She was smiling so hard it hurt her face. She crushed a bottle full of sleeping pills into the coffee. Deep down inside, she was screaming in terror.
That's fucked up. Oh shit, yeah. Get away. You know what? Flashbang. That's so fucked up. Especially like when you combine that with the note we had in the last episode where she was like, was it the one before? Where she was like, oh, you know, Rose knew that like Wake loved his wife, like it was obvious. You know, like the way Rose talked about Alan's marriage, it was like she had no problem with it. I think I'm looking for some probably in here. If I was gonna guess. Walk in a light. Sorry about that. Oh. 2. There's gotta be a gun in here, right? Otherwise... Or a flare, I guess. Yeah, actually, no. I guess it takes away some of the suspense if they give you a gun there. Ease bitches. hope there's no pages here I'm missing. There shouldn't be, right? Fuck. Ow. Fuck. Flashbang. These are so dope. The fact that they give you these and then I like, here, just play with them for a bit is so cool. Wait, did I check by this police car? I think I did. If there's gonna be anything here, it'd be likely by the police car. Oh god, flashbang. Okay, this would have been the way I'd come from. I hadn't gone to the thing. Right, get out of here. We're almost there. I'm gonna get attacked again. I can already feel it. There's someone behind me. Without a gun, this becomes terrifying. Like, there could be anyone in these trees. You know what, fuck it. I ain't got many of these left, but... like, this is... presumably where I get a gun.
I hope Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
Get the coffee. Jeez.
Well, let the trash sort themselves out. I'm sorry, but my granddaddy settled in Bright Falls in 1911.
Well, thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint, Lorna. Oh, here's a little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in, folks. I'm going to see if I can talk him into an interview.
Let's maybe not have him say that on air.
I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt.
Whoa, everyone.
I'm impressed at how many
Jets
different
Nightingale.
authors
We got him.
this guy knows.
What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
Judas Priest. There's a civilian in there. There's two. By the way, anytime Alan Wake jumps off anything, there's just like a sheer drop.
Even if it kills me, you hear me? You hear me?
HP.
I had fallen off so many cliffs it was ridiculous.
Oh, there we go.
That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop.
You know, at least he
It
finds
was probably good
the
I hadn't had
irony
the
in
chance
it.
to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine.
At least it's funny that Wake finds the humor in the fact that, oh god, there's loads of them. In the fact that he keeps falling down things.
Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you? Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks
With
burned
rage and
humiliation.
Yeah, like this was, I remember like vague parts of this story. So things like the whole shtick with Nightingale, I don't remember. So it's like, I actually can't remember if he's like a good guy or a bad guy. Or he's obviously not a good guy. Like, he is very obviously the villain. Didn't mean to do that. Oh well. 1, 2, 3. I desperately need a gun. Oh, there we go. Shotgun ammo, revolver ammo, revolver. Thank God. The fact that he doesn't have a voice line there for picking up the gun is a little bit sad. Like, I feel like he should have a voice line for picking up the gun. Like, finally, something to let me fight back against the darkness. Instead, he's just kind of like, oh yeah, look, I found this fucking gun. I know, you know, we all know that we're in the gameplay section now. Where you might need a gun. Let's not sit here and fuck about. We all just know that this is the gun part of the game. You've done the running about like a dickhead with a flashlight and no gun bit, so now you need to do the gun bit.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Yeah, almost. Except for the fact that I pressed the button to interact with them, and then the game just decided that it was going to keep me walking at them. Like, even after I got control of my character back, it was like, oh, you're going to keep walking at these things and just die to the attacks. I actually had no control over myself. Flash blind them.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Almost like in a believable story, you know. You'd need some sort of peril. You could also have things that would help the story writer out. Because this whole thing is like a delusion that he has. Well, it's not a delusion. Well, I mean, it is kind of a delusion. Like, he wrote this, right? It's not. Yeah, screw you guys. I didn't mean to dash at him then. That was stupid. Run away. Flashbang. Ow. So shotgun's worth 2 rounds, but you can hit multiple enemies. I don't know that was actually worth it resource-wise for me to pick up. Because I got, what, the shotgun and 10 shells. But to get through it, it cost me a load of revolver shells, most of the shotgun shells, and a flashbang, and a flare. It wants me to go that way, but there is very clearly a glowy up here. So we're going to head up to the bit of paper. Alan Wake manuscript. I swear to God, if I turn around, it does the. No, we missed one. Fuck, we missed one.
The bulldozer's engine roared to life. Mud and rocks flew as it fought for traction. It crashed through the concrete wall and landed heavily in the yard. If it were an animal, it would have shaken its head after the impact, fixed its eyes on me, and charged. Of course, it had no head, nor eyes. Shadows crawled on its form, twisting it into a monster. Then, it came for me.
Ah, we missed one. That's sad. Part of me wants to run back and see if I can find it, but I'm not gonna. Unless it's on the roof. It could be on the roof, I guess. I don't think it is. Okay. Since it's possible to get up here, I thought there might be. Is that a page, or is that no, just the light glinting off the thing? Yeah, I think we've just missed it. That's fine. We'll just never know what it said. That's okay. Although, from a narrative sense, I don't think this game has two different endings and based on whether or not you collect on the manuscript pages. He technically now doesn't know what that was. Unless this is it.
Sarah trusted her gut, and her gut said Agent Nightingale was an asshole.
She's not wrong.
He felt wrong, and it wasn't just the smell of stale booze. It was in the way he flashed his badge, pulled rank, the look in his eyes when he wanted answers. Where was Alan Wake? What was this about an accident? Where was his wife? And most importantly, why did she let Wake go? He wouldn't answer her questions. Federal business was all he'd say.
I said, why did she let Wake go? But like, did she let me go? I guess she did let me go in the bit just after my wife went missing, right? She.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan. I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
True.
The pipe wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
I don't know how I feel about that as like a tutorial. Because we're basically about to see that happen, right? Like, there's gonna be something under the bridge and it's gonna fly at me, and then I'm gonna shine a light on it and it's gonna attack me again, right? So the hell is that noise? Oh. Oh wait, is that like heavy breathing noise? The darkness enemies. I like that if you catch them before oh shit. Right, I need to not die here. Oh, there's the cinematic. One neat thing is that shooting them does actually make them, like, go back. Even if they're covered in darkness. So even though, like, when the cops and shit shoot at these guys, it doesn't do anything. when Alan shoots at them from a gameplay point of view, it does slightly like knock them back. Because it'd be kind of bullshit if it didn't.
I could see a railway bridge up ahead, and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
Yeah, the tutorializing of the like bar thing that's going to attack me is okay, but it does take some of the tension out of this bit. Like, oh, what's going to happen? Well, at one point, one of these metal bars is going to come loose and fling itself on
you. The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
I really like this whole, like, the darkness is strong enough that it can now take over, like, physical objects. I don't quite know how you're gonna dodge them. Like, they touch you and they do a lot of damage. I guess you're meant to not get caught in like a tiny corridor like that. Follow. The whole like text follow written on it implies that this is me following someone's instructions, whereas the thing before was like I sort of assumed it was like someone else helping Alan, but yeah, if you fall back from this, oh, you can't. Flares seem to be the best ways to deal with this. Like that, Jesus Christ. Ooh, that was terrifying. Mostly from a gameplay sense. Like these rooms that have objects fly you in them are terrifying because they kill you and then you have to start the sequence again. The fact that they made like a proper physics engine for everything here is really good. Destroying one of those should heal you. For the amount of damage they can do with very little recourse to yourself. Destroying one should heal you. The flash of light it gives shouldn't be just a... Yeah, so yeah, we've accidentally skipped one.
Even after all this time, hearing the Night Springs theme caused a surge of conflicting emotions in me. It'd been my first real writing gig. Barry had known a guy who knew a guy.
Oh, he wrote Night Springs.
I'd been a semi-regular writer on the show. I'd always been ashamed of the job. Felt it was trash. I'd wanted to be an artist, a novelist. I'd been naive back then. It had taken a long time to learn to be proud of the work.
See, because I'd never played this on Nightmare, I didn't know that. That's the thing that I missed my first time through. I didn't know he'd actually written Night Springs. That's cool.
I slammed the door shut right in his smug face. He pleaded for me to open the door. True to form, the asshole actually thought I would obey. I had no sympathy left, no guilt either, not for him. I took a moment to savor the scream. I bet I had a smile on my
That's
face.
creepy as
It was
hell.
all that I had time for. The dark presence was inside the lodge with me.
Well, that's gonna be awful when I get to that bit.
As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story.
Oh yeah,
Certainly
heavy-duty
not the
flashlight.
protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
We get a stronger flashlight. I remember this. I remember there's another tier of upgrade past the one that I have. He's talking about the thing, right? Is it the thing whether it can turn into anything? It's the thing that like that's creepy. It's like the Among Us. Among Us is based on the thing. I only stop mentioning Among Us in these videos. But like the Among Us is based on the thing. Wait, no, the thing's John Carpenter. I did not. I didn't get to test out your fancy new flashlight. Yeah! Shoot the red barrel. That was cool. I'm glad. See, like, that's the thing where I'm glad it never gave me like, I saw the red barrel and realized if I shot it, it'd explode. Like, me just saying, hey, look, there's a red barrel in video games, they tend to explode, and shooting it, and then it exploding, and obviously giving off a ton of light, and it killing the dark presence, is cool. So I am very glad that that was a thing that they sort of took that. Wait, is this door not open? It is. Fuck you. Reload. I think it's 8. It's not possible to kill this with a full mag, but it is. No, 2 with a shotgun would also be required. In light, you can hurt them. True, true. A bit late for you to be giving that advice now. I've kind of known that for quite some time. Seems like the kind of place there would be a TV. There is. This is going to be an episode of Night Springs.
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos.
I love these
of
things.
madness
I don't Night
and
Springs, sorry.
horror. All too often, the stars are right. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a family occasion. Journalist Alvin Derlis' trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr.
It's really hard to
Dillon,
hold
we don't
this,
want
the
to
amount
on
that...
exhibition, but you have demonstrated the seriousness of your intent.
Oh, I am serious. Really, just do your thing. I'll stay.
So they have
out
to
of
hold the
your way and
analog stick
observe.
hard enough that it...
Actually, I thought you could assist us.
Scroll and then...
We are a man short. It would provide you with an intimate perspective.
Could I really?
Of course, Mr. Derlis.
Well, I guess that's the least I... What would I have to do?
Oh, here. Let me show you with a kiss.
What did you add?
Oh, Miss
Whoa.
But well please, Nixie Perka, the dweller in flesh. Your body shall host his 1,000 young, and all shall be glory.
I've never really watched much of the show this is based off of, but like that one's just like a weird, creepy story. Like the first one was the one about the thingy machine. Right, the
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
Not the lake. I mean, it's already said we're going to be fighting a piece of machinery, right? I don't remember when that was, but we got a page about it. There it is. The first real boss of this game, the inanimate bulldozer. Oh. Having some of them flashbangs would be nice. Would there been a boss I would actually... Ah. I really like the physicality of this game. Like how the beam is a thing. Like when Alan puts the flashlight down, like when you dodge, the beam follows where the beam would be in real life. It's beginning to shift and transform. Really hard to tell like which side it's front and it's back. Obviously it's a max and being controlled by the darkness, and that might be intentional. I don't remember if the heavy duty flashlight actually like breaks the light barrier quicker, or if it just holds more batteries. It takes like 3 to fill it, but it only took 2 to fill the old one. You know what? We're gonna keep filling it. Keep shining the light on this thing. I don't imagine I have to shoot it with my pistol. I assume killing it with the flashlight would be enough. That was good. This game at least has like the ability to have inanimate object boss fights now, rather than it just be dude with weapon. Like fighting a shadow dude with a gun, I don't imagine would be fun. And away we go. Call me Themis. Big bright light. Stand in it so the game saves and thing. And now we get to take the car. Oh, I can't remember if this was a cutscene or a gameplay section. Sometimes it's...
I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine.
It's neat that you basically never play as Alan during the day. How did he find the way to the coal mine? He specifically said he was gonna go ask that guy for directions.
I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a straw.
How far will it let me go this way? at some point Alan has to push back, right? And say, nope, he doesn't.
Even during daytime, I was being stalked. The bridge must have collapsed only moments after I'd crossed it.
At least there's a logical reason. Well, quote, logical reason. Yeah, the bridge, yeah, no, it collapsed. Why not just have him turn around? Like, just have him turn around and go, this wasn't the right way. This wasn't the way I was supposed to go. Alice was waiting for me and she was the other direction. Also, why did I get out of the car if I can get back in it?
Little by little, without realizing it, I'd come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The current of its narrative had taken me deeper and deeper into dark waters. Alice
Is
had
that
been
a
taken
page
from
of
me.
the book?
Barry was probably in jail. I was a fugitive from the FBI.
Nope,
the whole
it's the
world taken over by the dark presence was trying to destroy me. It all felt real, but it matched a textbook case of insanity.
Except the fact that people are actually dead. Like, I understand that it seems crazy. Like, you hear what he's saying and it sounds insane, but there are people that are dead because of what's happened. Also, it's giving me, like, full control here. But, like, Alan doesn't have a gun at this point. So there's nothing to shoot. Which means the only thing that I can look for is manuscript pages. Or coffee thermoses. Which makes this a lot less interesting than it is at night. Because the thingy pages glow. The manuscript pages glow. So finding them at night isn't as much of a big deal, because they just sort of are around.
This is Pat Main, and you're listening to KBF-FM. Folks, I want to apologize for kind of abandoning you to that looping music track last night, but I was detained. You see, I encountered a big-shot G-man with an itchy trigger finger who could use a lesson in manners and a boot in the ass. Not necessarily in that order either. Now, folks, I know I'm not being very informative here, and I apologize for that. I really should just keep quiet, but I'm just so peeved right now, because some people just shouldn't be carrying badges. I'm just glad that our Sheriff Breaker was there to straighten things out. And if someone I met last night is listening, let me just say, I'm sorry if my mouth got you in trouble.
How did they get there so fast?
Now, on a lighter note, I'll be talking to Dr. Nelson all morning.
Ugh,
Not first.
Dr.
No
Nelson.
music.
Yeah, like when we were there, how did they get there so quickly? They got there basically the second he said Wake's name. He said his name and then they appeared. I'm also surprised at the number of cars they rendered. The amount of driving that's in this game is more than I remember. I think that you just don't find manuscript pages during the day. Right? We're gonna go up there, just because it's a thing that I've seen. But I'm pretty sure you just don't find them during the day. Or like they only appear in the dark. Oh, another radio. How can there be another radio?
Welcome back to KBF-FM. Hope you enjoyed that tune. Now,
Doc, you were talking about life and finding that special someone, that soulmate.
Well, you were talking about that. I was saying I don't buy it.
Well, see, to me that's strange because I always pegged you as a hopeless romantic.
Oh, this is a doc.
You got me there, Pat. But I think love's where you look for it. And you need to do a lot of looking, sure. But the idea that there's that one special person out there for you, and if you miss that chance, it's gone forever and you're forever incomplete. I mean, isn't that depressing? Or heck, childish even? There's plenty of fish in the sea.
And apparently a fisherman has a fishing analogy for everything, but what you're saying, isn't that a little harsh?
Well, no. What I am saying is that your potential for finding that connection isn't limited to
Yeah, if anything, what he's saying makes more sense.
How is that harsh?
Yeah, well, I guess that's a nice thought, but let me say something personal here.
Okay.
Now, well, I don't disagree with you exactly, but I can't really fit that together with what I feel, what I felt for someone, because she was the one. She was. And I let her drift away from me. Maybe I didn't put in the work, I don't know, but, well, since then, and it was a long time ago, but since then there hasn't been anyone, not like her. And I'm not saying I dwell on her or haven't moved on. I like my life. I'm not living in the past, but I do miss the way she completed me.
You can't argue with the heart, Pat.
I'm sorry, folks. I had kind of a scary experience last night, and let's just say it's shaking a few things loose.
That's a conversation that it's weird to have in a game that isn't about that and isn't like, this is off the beaten path. You have to go up there, you have to turn the radio on, you have to sit there and listen to it. You can't walk off, you can't like put it on in the car, which would make sense. You have to sit there and listen to it. And it's that was a really, really good dissection. Not dissection, but it's a really good like way that two different people might consider soulmates. Like he said, like one of them said, oh, you know, I think that there's always plenty more fish in the sea. Like if it doesn't work out, there's probably another person out there for you. And the other one is basically like, well, maybe that's true. I don't necessarily disagree with your point, but when I was younger, there was someone, and ever since then, there's never been anyone that's made me feel like that. And you know, that is completely different to what he said, and we'll listen to my script page and I'll remember this.
For Mott, spying on the writer on the ferry had been a disappointment. His boss had made Wake out to be something special,
So Mott is the name of the
but Mott
kidnapper.
hadn't been impressed. He'd gotten a good long look at the wife, though, and he liked what he saw.
I don't like that.
Mott had fantasized about goading Wake into a fight, but it hadn't happened. Still, he'd get his chance to see if the writer had anything in him. He'd been promised as much.
Yeah, I do remember when you go speak to him on the boat, he's a bit of an asshole. Yeah, so like the basically like two different views on how you can view soulmates and love in general in those two people. I think that was a really interesting conversation to be hidden, like I say, in a thing you have to stand perfectly still and listen to. Because I don't agree with. I think there's a world where you can think either of them, right? You can say, oh, well, there's that one person that is meant for you, but you'll find them. Like everyone will always find them, which isn't necessarily true. Or you can live in the world where you're like,
I was early. I was supposed to meet the kidnapper at noon in the main building. The coal mine was quiet. It was a museum now.
Or you can live in the world where you think, oh, it's, you know, there's always, you know, it's a matter of circumstance. If you end up with someone that is your soulmate, then it'll feel like you're with your soulmate. While there were earlier residents in the area, the true genesis of the town of Bright Falls came with the founding of Bright Falls Mining Company and the opening of the Bright Falls Mining coal in 1878. Although the work was hard and dangerous, many immigrants, Germans, Poles, Italians, Finns, and Swedes, along with others, back to the mines. So a very multicultural area. While lucrative at first, the steady mining declined in the 20th century. The seams were rich but hard to get at, and the volcanic activity made the mine shafts particularly dangerous. Oh yeah, it's a volcanic area. What is old stuff? Yeah, it's just neat to have them to have like a cool bit on love and the human condition in the middle of this game.
With Nightingale gone and the night wind blowing in through the broken studio window, Maine stared at Sarah. The sheriff looked away. Maine's voice shook with barely controlled anger. That boy's doing more drinking than thinking. I hope you know what you're doing, Sarah. He's got a sickness in his eyes. You take my word for it. He wants Wake for a reason, and it's not for anything good.
Yeah, see. I don't actually, again, I can say I don't remember, but I don't think he's an FBI agent. That was a very sudden cut.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope.
Surely you'd be terrified at this point.
It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Wake,
Where the hell are you?
change of plans. You know where Mirror Peak is? It's a big mountain north of where you are. You follow the path from the mine, you can't miss it. There's a lookout point there. I'll be waiting.
I'm through being jerked around by
You
you.
want to see your wife alive? Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I mean, he has got a point.
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello! Ah!
I'm gonna kill him! I had to get to Mirror Peak. It was close. Maybe closer than ever before.
That was scary. Like that everything in this game has to take place at night because, you know, obviously the kind of game this is. Yeah, because of the, you know, the game. I'm glad that he still has all the ammo and shit that I collected, because that would be bullshit if he didn't. Whee! Down we go. Thomas Zane in love with Barbara Yeager. How many pages do we got? Usually you can tell by the number of pages roughly how long there is
When
left.
Thomas Zane fell for Barbara Jagger, it happened
The
fast.
episode.
She was young, vibrant, and beautiful, full of life. He had never been a very happy man, and without any seeming effort, she had changed all that. Zane felt good for the first time in his life. Everything she did was another piece of a jigsaw puzzle he hadn't even known he'd been missing. And best of all, she made the words flow, strong and sharp. She was his muse.
The game has a pretty cool way of describing how love feels. In a way where it's cool that a game that is written about artists is the one that is a game that I played that has done this one of the best. You know, like plenty of other games have like love stories in them. But not many games are actually like about love. You know, like a lot of games are about like stopping the villain or like and like finding love along the way. Stopping the villain because he like or she, I guess. Not many female villains in video games, but like because they, you know, threaten someone that you love, but not many games have that be your character's sole reason for what they're doing. This game does. Alan is doing this because he wants to rescue his wife. He doesn't care about actually stopping the darkness. He just wants to rescue his wife, who he loves. Which is neat. Like, there's no, like, overall... Why are there just 2 flashbangs in here? It's kind of a neat thing, because, yeah, like I say, Alan doesn't care about stopping the darkness. He just wants his wife back. The same way, like, I would in this situation. Like, I wouldn't care about stopping the weird dark fog monster that seems unstoppable and will probably kill me if I keep trying to fuck with it. I'd probably care more about rescuing, you know, my wife. I would almost certainly care more about rescuing my actual wife. Ah, it fell off. Fuck. God damn it. We're just gonna drop in. Oh good, I dropped in as it. Burn it, there we go. Just got an achievement for killing a certain number of inanimate objects. Weirdly, I got that now. Like, there are 6 episodes in this game. Admittedly, I think... Oh no, it's the tornado. No one likes the darkness tornado. I don't get if the darkness is trying to kill Wake or not. That's one thing I don't remember if the game ever makes clear, is the darkness seems to want to kill Wake, but like, it can't. Because as parts of the game have pointed out,
the only way to reach the hillside ahead was to go through the building. I had to find a way to avoid electrocution.
we get to... We get to follow these lines to get to... I like how many of the things they've put around so that... Hello guys! Bang! So that if you like somehow miss the car or don't like the car, I can understand how you could play this game and not enjoy the car. You can just use all the explosives that they've dotted around. That'd feel good if you were Wake, right? After everything that keeps happening, you get in a car and you have like the light. Oh, because I'm going to turn off the lights. That would short, right? Again, I don't know like a crazy amount about electronics and stuff, but I'm pretty sure if you did that in real life, the electrical circuit would short. The darkness can come all at once, but it gave me a car. me out of the car. The fact that there was no manuscript pages in that entire field was weird. Ah! The board's not even animated. It's just falling on me. More gun bullets, I was about to say. This game doesn't have a kick option. So like, that was very obviously gonna have... I know we're gonna do this. Boom. Probably should have saved that for a better time, but we've got the flare gun now. I'm wildly aware of the fact that we're not necessarily approaching the end of an episode, but we're getting fairly close, and I've still got loads of ammo left. They gave me 2 flare gun rounds there, and I just didn't use either of them. Is this room I started in? It looks very similar. But that's by design, right? This room would... Stuff like this would look very similar. That was cool. Trust no one in the dark. Not even your wife, who the last message you received seemed to be pretty weird. That's creepy. Why is that there? Follow. Wake touched by the dark. Didn't we already get Wake touched by the dark presence?
But these were just the nerve twitches of a dead thing. Nothing remained but a shell covered and filled with darkness. In most cases, these puppets were enough for the purposes of the dark presence. But for anything more elaborate, as with the writer, it was different. It needed his mind. And so rather than taking him over completely, it merely touched him.
Okay. Oh no, we had Rose touched by the dark presence. I guess that makes sense. The darkness requires a willing host. Not willing host, but requires like some amount of autonomy for what it wanted like Alan to do. But it doesn't require that for like what it wanted Rose to do. And even then, it requires some amount of autonomy for what it wanted Rose to do. Because it was basically making her give in to her like base desires, right? Of wanting to like be with Wake. Even though we already had a message from her.
There was no way the flashbang grenades were standard power company equipment.
True. It's like... And again, I don't remember if they bring this up later. But these things are like inconsistencies in a story. Right? That's like the idea that that Alan like wrote about this in, was it Departure? The book he was gonna write. But the idea is that this is the plot of Departure, his newest book. Every time he points, so occasionally there'll be something wrong, right? And every time he points that out, that's like pointing out something wrong in his book. Like, oh, you know, like a plot hole. Oh, there's no way flashbangs come from the equipment. Well, no, they're not. But they are still here. The shotgun's so bad. If I remember right, on normal mode it's not. In normal mode it's one hit kill. The way the damage racks up, it's like one hit kill for the shotgun. Nah. Oh, that didn't actually do anything. I must have missed with the flare gun then. The flare gun's supposed to be like a one-hit kill. The flare gun is meant to be like your, you know, your rocket launcher. It's meant to take anything out in one shot. You're not supposed to struggle to kill something with the flare gun. So I shouldn't have fired it at 2 of them and had none of them die. Killed the little ones.
I stared through the bars of the jail cell. Barry stood behind me, swaying on his feet, looking as ill as I felt. Agent Nightingale stood on the other side of the bars with Sheriff Breaker. Nightingale had a stack of manuscript pages in his hand. He seemed unhinged as he gloated.
I don't know who Raymond Chandler is.
I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's all here. All the evidence, including conspiracy to murder a federal agent.
That's an interesting point, isn't it? If you write a manuscript like The Wakes and it comes true word for word, does that show premeditation or does that show something else? If this happened in real life, how would that work? The fact that like these caches always do this is... I mean, it's okay, but it just means like that gave me 3 flashbangs. Really it didn't. Really it gave me 2 and minus 4 bullets, right? The cache itself had 3 flashbangs, but to get it, I had to kill those guys. So it really gave me 2 flashbangs and cost me 4 bullets. I basically spent... Ow. I basically spent 4 bullets to gain 2 flashbangs. There was a world where I could have killed all of them with 1 flashbang. That was one hell of a jump he just did. Jumping off here is going to damage me, but it doesn't matter. You can't make that shit up. Apparently my computer storage space is running low. I had not freed up space. I actually don't know what would have happened had I not been able to free up that space. I would assume that it would have stopped recording, which would have been funny. So if the quality is lower at just before I said, turns out I'm low on recording space, that is why. Well, I guess now we can not waste those bullets. We can just... I mean, what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to run past them. Now we're not. We can do that. Oh, Amber. That's this Amber, my actual Amber, my Amber, the cat Amber. That's the way I should say that. Oh! Yeah, you can't get across here. That is an absolute troll of a move, by the way. I didn't mention this because of the whole it threatening to finish the recording thing, but the fact that that drop kills you is bullshit.
I had no real plan. I was going to give the kidnapper all the manuscript pages I had for Alice. If that wasn't enough, I'd hold him at gunpoint and make him talk.
I'd forgotten there were variants. Yeah, now a pump action shotgun. This is more like it. That way's the way to Mirror Peak. So what's this way? Oh, they're not both ways to Mirror Peak, are they? This weapon is substantially better than the other shotgun. I mean, obviously it's meant to be. It's an upgrade, but... I hate it when games do this. Like, there's two ways for me to go, but... presumably there actually isn't. Presumably I have to go the other way to collect some stuff anyway. Unless there's... Ah, my eyes. Sorry if you have epilepsy and I've just fucking given you a fit. But, I mean, that also hurt my eyes. That's a lot of enemies. Turn the light on. Reload. Boom. Oh wait. No, don't die to this guy. I just got an achievement for killing 2 of them with 1 shot. Which is neat. Yeah, see there was something over here, right? There was like a house. Yeah, big house. It's like I need to go over here. So really this wasn't really a choice. It was like a short way or a miss something way. Oh, fuck off. You know what? Fuck it. I meant to do that. I shot 5th shot out. Oh, we're actually running quite a lot of ammo. No doubt the game will absolutely shower me in ammo at some point soon. Oh, at least the thing I missed was just some ammo and a coffee thermos, not a... Oh, and 2 flare gun ammo. That's actually quite a lot of stuff to miss. It's not a manuscript page. Which is like the big important thing. If they chase me, they'll have to walk into this light, which will burn them and therefore stun them. Like that. Which means I can just run. Fire 1 bullet into each of them and then run. That's a way of getting out of combat.
The dark presence was moving ahead of me in the same direction I was going. A cold feeling settled itself in the pit of my stomach. Was it going for Alice?
I like how he's constantly scared for his wife.
The graveyard shift may cause cancer.
What? I think it makes sense. Guy's a pain. It's cool how much like enemy variety they can get from just regular humans. I'll actually be really interested to see what kind of enemy variety they give you for Alan Wake 2. Like this enemy's unsettling. I didn't even kill it in the end. Like, it just sort of exists. I'm taking 8 bullets. There wasn't even really much point in me killing that, right? Like, we got a flare gun ammo. We're actually running really low on ammo. I haven't found a manuscript page in a while. There's actually a lot of manuscript pages left for me to find. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, did I just miss all these pages?
I lifted the page in front of my eyes and read it. In it, I lifted the page in front of my eyes and read it. In it, I lifted the page in front of my eyes and read it. In it, I lifted the page in front of my eyes and read it. In it, I lifted the page in front of
Okay. No way did I miss that many pages. It must have been in that previous section, right? I must have...
The place was dead. A ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
Or was it in the car section, actually? Did I somehow miss loads of them there? Guess we'll find out. Yeah, so we haven't missed any here. So there's 3 more pages for me to find in the main story, but I did miss 2 of the side pages, basically. Whoops, we didn't listen to Wake and Casey.
Things were never as simple in real life as in fiction. I had lost count of the times I had wished there'd be a clear reason for my writer's block. Something to fight, something to lash out on. There wasn't. I was filled with doubt. I was nothing like the hero in my books. Alex Casey had gone through his life with single-minded determination, never wavering from his goal. Even now, I was angry at myself, angry at Alice, angry at Barry. I was fumbling and I had no plan.
Why was he angry at Alice? For getting kidnapped. Or for bringing them here, I guess. Originally founded in 1928, the Grey Peak Gorge mining town was one of the permanent settlements in Bright Falls. Built for its workers, the nearby graveyard is a testament to the dangers. A reminder to be careful those who remained. It was found almost overnight when the Bright Falls Mining Company closed in 1970. Is this a thing in America? I guess it must be, right? They're just being whole towns that are still there, but like no one lives there because they were based around an industry that shut down. There's not really any point in living in a town that doesn't have an industry anymore, right? But at the same time, like, this is terrifying. Oh no. Maybe we didn't miss
Doc
any.
sat down heavily. He examined Barry and Rose. Barry was already recovering. Rose was another story. She was conscious, but she was barely present, almost delirious, disturbed, touched in the head, they used to say. It wasn't the first time Doc had seen someone in such a state, but it had been over 30 years. Doc poured himself a stiff drink. He hadn't forgotten a thing.
So Doc, that doctor that we talked to in that first episode, he obviously worked on whatever happened with Thingy. Ow! Yo, flashbang. Okay, flashbangs don't work quite as well on inanimate objects. Good to know. Ow. That doesn't make sense. We're gonna start just spamming through the non-gun resources. Like this. There's a level of like impact, like the screen shake and stuff on these inanimate objects as they fly through. I guess it's something to do with the physics that they've made that just they like crash as they land next to you. How much it shakes and stuff. Oh, that had a... Ow! Fucking... Okay, what happens if I throw one of these at it? Okay, it does substantial damage. Oh, the light I was seeing was this lantern, not a... I thought it was a manuscript page from far away. Fuck it, let's use a flare on it. The flare kinda sucks. Taking over inanimate objects is way more scary than it taking over a person. Like all that smoke and shit that just like blasted up then. Like it looks so cool. It throws like smoke into the air. Like it clacks into the thing. It just looks so good compared to like that was counted as a boss fight. I got an achievement for that.
Outside of riding is a struggle. I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet.
The fact that they remade that thing.
He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise.
He writes about the darkness.
Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake.
Am I actually moving?
It's a mere gaping void of darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence lurks. I crawl back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
So Zane basically was writing about the darkness. Wait, switch hunting rifle. Instead of the shotty. How much hunting rifle ammo would that give me? 5. No. I think I'd... We'll keep this because it's just giving me ammo for it. So it makes me think it's going to give me more ammo for it. I sort of assumed this episode must be nearing completion. You know, we've only got like, what, 4 manuscript pages left to find. We've got like 4 manuscript pages left to find, or something like that. Yeah, we got 3 in the main, and we got 1 at the end of this, so... You know, we find a manuscript... I find a manuscript page like once every few minutes.
The kidnapper had sent me a text. The message was full of spelling errors and insults. It was telling me to hurry up.
The fact that he doesn't read the message out makes that kind of pointless. As like a thing. Oh yeah, he sent me a text message telling me to hurry up. I'm not gonna read it to you. We must be getting close now. Killed 2 bosses. Killed a boss recently.
Birds.
Gonna have to burn a lot of fucking birds. I guess we moving on. Kill the birds. Away. Just go down, I guess, into the mine. That's gonna fall when I land on it. Told ya. Played a video game before. Will there even be people down here? Ooh. Tunnels go to Cauldron Lake. I feel like it's gonna be a jump scare.
Without warning, the headache stabbed at my brain.
Is this the way it wants me to go?
Alice? Alice!
Oh. It's just like
I'm losing it. I gotta get out of here.
It's a manuscript page, though.
The hunters were big, thick-set men, confident and at home in the woods. They were feeling good, running on beer, ghost stories, and camaraderie late into the night. It did them no good, as they were taken by the dark presence, sucked deep into a darkness far worse than any ghost story they ever told or heard.
Uh-huh. This is a cool, like, section. They didn't need to make this be the way it is, but it is the way it is. You could very easily not go down here and not get that bit, and you wouldn't really lose anything from the experience of the game. I guess you would. I mean, you lose seeing that, which is obviously like a thing they made and presumably wanted people to see. Oh, more flares. Means there's definitely more combat.
Even behind the closed doors and curtains of his grimy room at the Majestic, the local motel, Nightingale could feel the locals' eyes on him, the unrelenting pressure of their judgment. He forced it out of his mind. For all he knew, they could all be under Wake's spell already. You do what you have to do to get the job done. He took comfort from the bottle in his hand. Please, he thought, just let me get through this.
Drinking on the job. It's not a great trait for an FBI officer. Yeah, I was gonna say it's can't kick it, so it's definitely gonna. We're gonna be quick about these combat encounters because this is definitely getting near the end, right? So we're gonna. Okay, that does a lot more damage than I was expecting. I wonder if the hunting rifle ammo there would have been shotgun ammo if I'd still had the shotgun. I assume not. I assume it's set. That would be a punishment for keeping the shotgun with slightly more ammo, right? It's neat that some of the thermoses are in like the correct place. They're in like, oh, this would be where you'd find maybe a coffee thermos. Some of them are obviously like out of the way. But a lot of them are like where you might actually find.
I'd have to make my way up this mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that.
This would be terrifying. I'd be so scared to like walk across that. These are neat, these little sections, but they don't really like... I'd hesitate to say they don't add much to the game, but they don't really like... This isn't like a puzzle. Is it? This is... It's just me moving a thing and then me jumping on it, and if I fall, it'll fucking suck. Like there, where I almost walked off the edge. I mean, like, again, that's not a puzzle. That's just like a... I was gonna say, wonder why he didn't slide down, but I guess in his exact same situation, I wouldn't slide down. I'm gonna move this down a tiny bit. It is visually pleasing to me. Some people won't be, that this doesn't line up perfectly. Because obviously it's just tied to a thing above. Real Chad thing to do would be if that fell as you finished climbing over it. Is this gonna open or is something gonna appear? Or it's just gonna kick it. Takes a man with an axe to break a thing with like 4 sprues on it, but full door, Alan just kicks it once, destroys it. So many flares. I guess the flares are meant to be like get out of jail free option. Meant to use them last second as something. I'm guessing a cloud of things is going to attack. I mean, it is very pretty. I feel like Alan doesn't have time to be doing this though.
Lightning flashed behind the windows of Cauldron Lake Lodge. Tor Anderson laughed and held the steel hammer above his head. Nurse Sinclair was trying to calm him down without success. Tor grinned madly and shouted, "My hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Molnir, wench." He brought the hammer down with all his might on Sinclair's head. "We're on a comeback tour, baby."
Tor. I love his name's Tor. That's one of the dudes that we met in the diner. Just one of them's Tor. Tor thingy. Yeah, that's actually, I've never thought of this until now. Well, the first time I didn't think of it. But like, that bit in the mine, they're like, oh, the bit in the mine, they're like, oh, you know, we had loads of like European settlers. So it's cool that one of them is called like Tor, which, you know, is meant to sound like Thor. Stand in the light.
Oh, great. Another cable car. Just great.
That's what I was thinking, Wake. That's what I was thinking. This one shouldn't fall though, right? That would be too predictable. Oh, this one's actually quicker than I was expecting. But it's still got really far to go. We got the flare gun. There'll be some birds. Where are the birds? Yeah, fuck you, birds. Me with the jammy birds wanna come and attack? That was easy. Oh wow, is it gonna fall exactly there? Don't know if I respect the game more for having action set pieces that are just in-game, like, you know. I think Uncharted 2 was out when this game came out. Uncharted 1 at the very least was. I'm pretty sure Uncharted 2. That's pretty,
Shit.
pretty fucking, that was pretty, okay. That one made me jump. None of the, like, actual jump scares have made me jump, but the fucking train. Falling from the sky, that was scary. Hunting rifle ammo. That's a surprising amount of ammo. Fuck off. How many flashbangs we got? Not many. We got 3 flares though. Yeah, see, we're just gonna like use the good gun. That was a very short combat section. More ammo. The 8th deepest lake in the world. Cauldron Lake is a caldera lake formed in a volcanic crater. The volcano itself could be considered to be active, but it has not erupted since 1970. And even then, the underground activity was comparably mild. Despite some property damage, there was no casualties. So in beautiful spots and bright falls, as well as a central figure in many folktales, it's a popular recreation area and to the area's residents. I guess, yeah, I guess if you lived here, you'd go like swimming in the lake, right? It's not... Even though it's got weird folk tales about monsters and shit. If you lived here, if you're a youth in the area, you'd go swimming in it. When I was a youth, there was a creepy lake in my area. I'd probably gone swimming in it. Well, this isn't gonna fall, right? Something might attack me while I'm on it, but it won't fall. Be too predictable. Cinematic effect on that is so cool. There's something to be said for just how cool that cinematic effect is. Okay, the fact that there's a cache here is weird. Like, there can't be that many more combat encounters. I've said this for a while now. I've said this for about 20 minutes. There can't be that much more of this episode. But there really can't. It's like, we're almost there. We've got like one manuscript page to find, which tends to be just outside of where the cutscene starts.
Maud had checked all of Stucky's rental cabins. There had been no sign of the Wakes. It was dark when he'd found their car parked at the end of the road by Cauldron Lake. It made no sense. They must have taken a wrong turn. But there was no sign of them, and the car had been there for hours already. Frustrated, Mott stood on the rotten ruin of the footbridge that had once led to Diver's Isle before it sank beneath the waves years ago. The boss wouldn't be happy.
Is Mott the... Oh, Mott's the fisher dude. Okay, so he isn't working with the darkness. If he didn't know that Cauldron Lake isn't real. Real question it, right, rather than climb up, let's just kick the supports out from under it, I guess. These old, creepy, decrepit houses. Do these just, like, exist in the American... Tom, I miss you, Tom. Tom. I miss you, Tom. Did you write this? I curse you, Thomas Zane. Who's writing all this text and pain? Some shotgun ammo. Yeah, you don't carry your ammo across episodes, so it's like, unless you do now, I guess. I don't think you do. Which makes you think there's gonna be a boss. Hello, enemies. Not really any point in you giving me ammo for real purpose. You just gave me like 4 flares. Oh, that's the other thing I had forgotten, is if the flashbang actually connects with someone, like physically, it explodes. I wonder if I'd gone this way and jumped, like, here. Like, had I know in advance. Because, you know, like, having played the game before, if you'd done that, if you just wouldn't have that happen. There's, like, no reason anyone ever would. As on, like, a first playthrough, you wouldn't just randomly go over in that direction and then jump. It actually made that way less scary that they'd given me so much ammo and shit beforehand. It's like, oh, we're gonna get attacked in a second, right? And there's not that much further for me to go.
I could see Cauldron Lake. I thought I could make out the spot where the island and the cabin had been. There was a light near it. It had to be a boat.
And there's that thing.
I was close now. I tried to hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him, but my arms were jelly. He smiled. It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period. Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now. Had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find.
Wait! Are you? Wait! Hey, I'm here! I'm coming! No! Get away! Sorry! she is. She's probably drowned. We just said we had her to make a play ball. You see?
Get him writing for us. Ugh. What a flash they lit. What a... Alan Wake. So the doctor's not to be trusted, as we found out from that last page. Like, I'm glad it doesn't let you miss pages like that.
Oh my, what a wretched life. I was born on the day that my
Excited to see this get copyrighted again.
previously
How is it I go back?
on Alan Wake.
There we go. For some reason it doesn't appear there straight away. Oh, look at this. That's neat. I like how it changes the background. It's really cool. That was a longer episode than I was expecting, but that was very good. Yeah. Game's really heating up. That's past the halfway point now. Now we're in episode 4. The Truth. That was episode 3, Ransom. Ransom's probably the weakest name of any of these. I remember what episode 6 is. I don't remember what episode 5 is. I remember episode 6 is. But yeah, that was real good. Like I say, a bit too much resource. Like, I remember, again, I said this earlier when I was recording, but I saw in the Steam reviews, like, oh, when you play a Nightmare, you need to watch out, because you'll get really resource starved. It's like, at no point during this have I ever felt like I haven't had enough ammo. There was that one time I ran out of revolver ammo, but I still had, like, 12 shotgun rounds. And then I found, like, 16 revolver rounds. I feel like people that are running out of ammo are searching every nook and cranny for everything. I'm kind of sad we missed that manuscript page. Where was that? Where would that be? Was it in extras? Playback, manuscript. So in episode 1, we got all of them. In episode 2, we got all of them. In episode 3, we missed 1. I like this Wake reads a page.
In front of my eyes and read it.
In it, I lifted the page in front of my eyes and read it. In it, I lifted the page in front of my eyes and read it. And then in the Truth. Actually, this seems like there's less there. It's like 20. Yeah, that didn't go quite as far, but it's almost as far. And then soundtrack-wise, we've got all these songs. In case you're ever wondering what any of the songs that play are, they're all these. These are also the ones that pop up when I upload this, and they give me copyright things. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see all you again for the next episode. Enjoy. We're past the halfway point. We're through the Looking Glass. Don't know if I'm going to do the specials straight away when I finish. We'll work it out. I might actually do those closer to when Alan Wake 2 comes out. But I'll work that out when it comes around, because I might play Control before Alan Wake 2 comes out. But I don't know if I'd record that. Anyway, sayonara.